right, here we go.
All right, so it's going live. It's setting it up now, so it should be live in a
Oh, I
few.
see that. Okay. All right, I see you. I see you. Boom.
Perfect.
Okay, so you can see this interview. Okay.
Yes.
And
Now,
I
what you would go down there is you click that share button.
got it. Okay, share, share, right, post, share link, share to group.
Whatever you want to do, however you want to share it, wherever you want to share it to.
Mm, I want to share it on my main. So share, copy link.
Or should
Uh,
be able to share it to your timeline, maybe something.
share my posts, my friends. All right, I'm gonna just go ahead and share it as a post.
There you
So
go.
it should be like share this as a post. There we go.
Awesome.
Hopefully.
What's going on, brother?
All right. Yeah, awesome, man. Listen, life's good. Life's good.
That's
Things
good
have
to
been
hear.
exciting, man. I couldn't be more blessed. How's everything with you, Andre?
Everything is great, man. Pretty pumped up and excited this season of life. A lot of people right now are, having challenges, but it's all about your mental toughness and your outlook on how you look at things. Like, I'm a glass half full kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? So even though there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, I'm pretty pumped up, excited. I am super, super grateful, bro, that you've taken the time to be able to get on this Facebook Live. We started this series last week with Randy Webb, and just what I wanted to do. The idea was, there's so many uh, misconceptions about entrepreneurship. People don't have a lot of understanding, not only about our industry, but just in terms of success in general, the hard work that's necessary. Most people, they just kind of see the finished product. They don't see the work that's involved and that type of stuff. And so what I wanted to do was, I've been blessed to get to know and have access to some world-class entrepreneurs like yourself. And I just wanted to provide for my timeline and for my friends and family and people who might um, find this interesting, right? To be able to just sort of do a deeper dive and get to know, you and what's going on. And so for those of you who don't know, this is my friend Nafeez Khan out of Canada. But what I'm going to do real quick is just have you just give a little bit of your backstory, where you're from, the whole nine, and just give us a little bit of that, and then we'll just flow natural, bro, just like a natural wealth conversation, like you and me was just talking.
Okay. Well, listen, Andre, I appreciate you, man, because if anybody knows who you are, man, they know how hard you work, how humble you are, how incredible your leadership skills are. But more importantly, if you know anything about Andre, he's been in the game of entrepreneurship for a very long time. So, you got to be around people that have not only had success in it, but have experienced it in all ways to really understand the gratitude it comes with it, to be in that position, to be able to take care of your family, by able to use your mind, your mindset, your skills, God-given skills that have given you, and make positive way. And so, Andrew, you've done such a phenomenal job, bro. I couldn't be more honored to be on this with you and getting a chance to speak with you and share my story. So for those of you guys that are catching in and tuning in, I'll quickly tell you a little bit about myself. Again, my name is Nafeez Khan. I'm born and raised here in Vancouver, Canada. Growing up, you guys, I'm 33 years old, by the way. And growing up, I come from traditional parents. They're Fijian born. Moved to Canada at a young age. Me and my sister, my older sibling is my sister. I'm the youngest in my family. And growing up, there was things that I saw in my family that really shifted my whole concept of life and my mindset, and really my desire. My desire really grew at a young age. And I think that really an attribute to success is having a burning desire. For me, that was a part that really kind of shifted me. It still gives me chills to think about it, because as I was growing up, what happened to me was is that when I was about 12 years old, my father had passed away. And when my father had passed away, that really kind of shifted my whole family. We were a great, dual income home as a family, mom and dad. I remember being able to have just enough. We were privileged kids to have just enough, nothing crazy, but have enough to just enjoy the family and love the family. But once we lost my father, that really changed my family's dynamic. You know, he was the one that was the positive one. He was the one that was always making half fun and everything. And we just lost this chunk of life. And that scared the whole house. The house didn't feel the same after. So growing up, I was about 12 years old, and I remember those conversations when my dad passed away, because my dad didn't buy life insurance, bro. He wasn't a successful entrepreneur or businessman or somebody who in any professional state of any kind. He was just a genuine, good, fun-loving person who was always willing to pull his shirt off his back and give it to others. And one thing I recognize about my father was he's very humble. He was always had friends. He always, you know, if it meant he had 2 meals, he was giving one away. And that's the type of person I saw him be. And I think that really made an impact on what I saw my father be and how I wanted to be in life myself. That's why I've always been somebody that loves to help and give back to people. And I love breaking bread. You know me, when we get together, I can't have us not break bread and eat together and enjoy life. So watch that grow up. The conversation that happened when I was 12, passed away, was, what's going to happen to us? And she says, I don't know. And I really was concerned because I didn't know how we were going to survive. I didn't have an idea of what we were making, what we weren't, but I felt like I really needed to take it upon myself. And so there's going to be something in life that I think defines a driving decision for you. And whether it be a spouse, a parent, yourself, your kids, there has to be something that is bigger than you. Because if it was about me, Andre, I don't think I would really be the successful person I am today, but it was because it was about my mom, because I was thinking about one day I want to have kids, you know, one day I'm going to have a spouse. I had these fears in my mind of, what if something happens to me? What's going to happen to my spouse? What's going to happen to my kids? What's going to happen to my mom? And that was really something that scared me to death, that I just knew I needed to go out there and make some money. So the journey started at a young age for me, around shortly after I started working a job. And as I worked a job, you know, I was so proud of getting a job, and it didn't matter to me credibility it was, which is very weird for me to say this, but because in school I was an athlete, I was popular, I was, you know, outgoing and funny, I was around all the cool kids. But my first job was cleaning toilets. And oh my God, you work at McDonald's or you work at this or that, or mind in the same thought that affect other talent, in my opinion. And so why I say that, and you in a situation, you got to do what you got to survive. And so really quickly after working those jobs, I'd humble myself. After a while, I just made a decision that, you know, I could do more in my life, and I needed to go out there and see what else was out there. Because the last thing I wanted to do, and this is the feeling that really kind of helped me grow, is when I was excited about my work until the day I was not excited about my work. That's when I got that's when I had a drive to change. Now, here's what I'm saying. It wasn't the fact that I was in a job and that I wasn't making money, but once I was in that job and that routine, and this severally, like, you know, growing up throughout the several jobs that I had, it was whenever I felt like this job was either a ceiling was hitting me, or I was comfortable doing the work and I wasn't growing. And I would then I would seek for more, because my fear was, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life and feel like I'm losing all my passion and desire and my imagination and my creativity. Because again, that was the things that really kind of shifted my mind and mindset. So after that, I went from job to job, looking at different careers. And really that was the part that really helped me out a lot, is looking at it, working at different areas and different fields and different industries. And then I found some phenomenal mentors. And, you know, the biggest thing that I've really believed in is you got to be around successful people that actually experience success. And so for me at a young age, one of my first jobs was when I was in the telecom industry, and I saw people that were, you know, not professionals. They didn't have degrees. They didn't have they didn't come from wealthy families, but there were people that were just selling cell phones, making, you know, 40, 50, 60, $70,000 a year. And to me at that time, that was huge, because I remember I was like, my mom and my parents and my siblings were saying, if you go to school, you can get a job for 50,000 a year. That's a good job. And
Right.
so I thought, oh my God, well, instead of me going to school, if I can go and do sales and make 50,000 or more a month or a year, that would be huge. So here I decided to not go to college and university. I get into selling cell phones and I start making 100 grand a year. So I
Wow.
doubled the expectation. Yeah, I doubled the expectation of what I was assuming I would do. And I was only 19 years old. So I'm making a lot of money. It really is helping me a lot in a big way back at home in the family. And I'm having a lot of success. Now, remember what I said earlier. I'm going to come back to that in a second, okay? But I'm working this job. I'm 19, and I'm now finally, like dusting off the dirt off my shoulder. That's how I felt,
Yeah.
being able to come home and take care of mom and the bills, and be able to buy some nice gifts for my family. You guys, it felt good to give more than anything, but more importantly, it was the part where money is a tool that really helped me feel secure about it, because it wasn't about the luxuries in life. It was like watching my mom's car break down and I had the money to fix it.
Yes.
Watching
Yes.
my sister struggle with when people think about wealth or success, they're always thinking of material media things, TV and cars and homes and all these things. And we all, as naturally as human beings, want that, but it doesn't feel as good until you're making sure everybody's taking care of around you. And so, what happened that a year, and year 2, year 3, year 4 goes by, and I keep working harder, and I start making more money selling cell phones, and I started making a lot more money. Now, here's the part that's really horrible about it. I thought that the more money I make, the happier it would make me. And the honesty was that it wasn't. It was the pursuit, the growth, the desire, the passion of it. Because what ended up happening was what I said earlier. I became so used to working a job. I got so comfortable doing what I was doing that the money was good, but I wasn't fulfilled. I was losing my passion. I was losing my complete desire of who it was. Because here's the thing, imagine you're now finally making the type of money that you might be thinking that would make you happy, 100 grand or 200 grand a year, but you feel totally unfulfilled. Could you imagine when you get there? Like I'm 23, 24 years old, and I'm completely unfulfilled. And so I'm using the money now to do things that I normally wouldn't do. I'd go party more and go out there and buy things I normally wouldn't buy. And I wasn't even trying to be smart with the money. I was just trying to make myself feel happy, think myself these things or that, and I feel good or whatever. But because I started kind of soul seeking at that time. I started thinking about myself, like, why am I doing this? And I realized I was doing it for other people. I wasn't really doing it for myself. I was trying to impress people and
Yes.
trying to be able to show them my success and stuff. And that wasn't me. That wasn't anything to do with me at all. So I realized what was really going to make me happy was going back down to zero. In the fact that, because I wanted to go into being an entrepreneur. See, what was killing me was the fact that as I was working in my job environment, I was one of the youngest people that was having success for that company at that time. And I remember going to my managers and my district managers and my regional managers, and they would love me for what I was capable of doing, but they had no intention of allowing me to grow in the company.
Right.
So I was making a lot of money, but the money wasn't allowing me to feel like I was really leading and doing as much as I could. And so right away, once I was asked, and if that's not on the table, no matter what they say you do, and if you accomplish what they tell you to do is not on the table, I would say go look for a new job, because you're going to feel like you're dying behind the desk. You're going to feel like you're dying behind everything. At least that's the way I felt. So I really quickly, I realized I wanted to do more. I wanted to get more out there. I wanted to be able to be my own boss and have more control. And at that time, I decided to get into traditional business consulting. So I went into business consulting. I decided using my skills, I started opening it up and networking within people in different industries. And they would start to say, hey, Nafeez, can you help me out with this? Or can you help me out with that? And a lot of it was, getting into sales, marketing, mindset, teaching, better customer, something as simple as customer service. I teaching people these at their company. So I started a little company and it started doing really well. We started getting some traction with it and I started to feel a lot better about life. I was making a lot less money, but I was doing more of what I wanted. And I knew that when I do something I love, the money is going to come with it anyways. So right away, I decided to get into traditional business, and get out of sales and marketing for people and start into business consulting, getting me the ability to work within other industries. So I decided to get into logistics. And as I started to really, guys, when you do business consulting, you get a chance to work with all these entrepreneurs that own traditional businesses. And what I was getting a chance to learn from, which was really the part that really was important for me, was looking at these traditional business owners, seeing their business, the pros and cons of it, and then really realizing that honestly, you do not want to be a traditional business owner today. That was the biggest impact that I found, because I would come and I'd find out that their neck was always on the line. They was always stressed out. I mean, everybody would, be afraid of them as a boss to their own employees. The relationships would be weird between certain people and how they acted within their own teams. But at the end of the day, when I was having like a quiet, personal one-on-one question, conversation with someone who's truly a traditional business owner, man, the fear that they have about their business, the debt that they have, how they felt, how they were telling me they couldn't sleep at night, how they don't have a relationship with the kids that they wanted, or their spouse they wanted, or their family that they wanted, but they were pursuing still their dreams as a traditional business, but they were just up to their head in distress. And so I quickly realized, that wasn't really going to be what I want to do long term either. Now I'm thinking, oh my God, I got to go back to the drawing board and figure it out. So at that point in time, I started exploring a lot of online spaces. And I looked at a lot of online businesses versus traditional business, because I still want to own a business, but I don't want the traditional business headache.
Sure.
And I'm going to say this right now. That mindset was when I was in 2011 that I adapted that mindset. That has protected me today like no tomorrow. That was like having like a safety net in my backpack every single day, because you never know what could happen, right? You never know what could happen. I mean, look at today, what's happening in businesses all over the world. Respectful people, you guys, hardworking people, great product services, but they can't even open the door of their business because of the situation that they're in. And so, traditional business, you guys, you can make a lot of money doing traditional business, but do you really want that when something can affect you? It's like a recession or a situation. So, you look at time, look at the history of time in business and entrepreneurship. These are lessons that you can learn from many people out there. And it's something that you got to look in the positive, because even they were willing to go out there and try to do it. Doesn't mean that that's what's best for us. So as I started to get deeper and deeper into learning about entrepreneurship, and especially the online space, I was gravitating consistently always to one concept that would really separate the most of the matter of it. The one that I saw that had a clear advantage over everything, no matter what, and that was affiliate marketing or direct sales marketing, commonly also known as network marketing. Okay. Right. Because you guys, if you look at and you study the industries of business, the greatest people in the world that have already done their due diligence are people like Robert Kiyosaki, Bob Proctor, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins. I mean, we're talking Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Richard Branson. I mean, you guys, the list goes on. Like, the list is very long of individuals that have done their own personal due diligence. There's never been anybody that can influence those type of people. And for them to say that that is probably where they would go to start their business, or where they would want to create a business in today in the 21st century. And so I looked at those concepts and I realized this. One, that whatever experience I had in life was going to be good, but it probably wasn't going to be what was going to take me all the way. And two, that I needed to get started because if I didn't get started, I wasn't going to learn. And the one thing that's made me very successful in life was not being afraid to get started and failing, because failure is a part of success. Quitting is not. Okay. Failure has always been a part of success. Anything you want, you guys, you're going to fail at it. Like, look at, like, today I struggle with my religious abilities, my health, okay, my ability for me to learn a new skill, even like cooking. I don't even know how to cook properly, bro. You come into my house, I'm feeding you, grilled cheese sandwiches, Andre, and noodles. You know what I'm saying, brother?
Yeah.
But I know for me to get good at it, I got to go out there and fail and fail and fail. And as you fail, you're going to get better and better. So I thought, for me to really get up there, whether I'm going to fail at traditional business or a online business, I'm going to choose the online one, because there's less overhead. There's less risk on the failure. There's more mentors. There's more coaches. There's more training and things provided here than a traditional owner of any business. In a traditional world in business, I was doing my pros and cons. I remember one night I'm writing it out. Pros and cons. Cons of owning a traditional business: no mentor, no support. You're on a higher debt frame. You're 9 times likely to fail and go bankrupt. Okay. Right. With the concepts of when you're learning about traditional entrepreneurship, doesn't matter if you are the best cook in the world or the best chef, you might not be someone that can wear so many hats to start a business and be successful at it. Absolutely. But when you look at the online world, it was like low cost, the no likelihood to go bankrupt, zero likelihood to go bankrupt. You know what I mean? Mentors, coaches, teams, support systems, people that have been very easy for you to duplicate in. So long story short,
you're actually touching on one of the big nuggets that people miss completely about our industry. One, the cost of entry is ridiculous, right? Compared to a traditional business, because any traditional business is 50, 100, several 100,000, whatever it is, in order to really get that started. Could go upwards into the millions if it's a franchise, something like that. And you're talking a couple hundred bucks to get started. But where I think that the point that you hit on was the real secret sauce, and it's I talk about it all the time. It's actually vested interest. So when you actually have a traditional business, like you said, from your analysis and from working with these people, they can't go ask their competition how they're succeeding, right? Because then their mentor is taking away from their own business and their own income from their family. Here, you have a whole bunch of mentors, and the way the structure is designed, they can't make a dime until they help you make $1. So they have a vested interest in actually helping you succeed. So what information are they going to give you? Best practices, the best way to do stuff, right? Like they're trying to do is give you the best. They're going to sow their time and experience into your business on your behalf, just like you're taking the time right now to work with me. You're in my upline, right? So you're sowing time into my business because there's a vested interest of making it happen, right? And that concept, I think people don't understand it and they miss it, and it's a secret sauce, of what our industry is all about. So, and then the other thing too, I wanted to touch on real quick while I got you paused, because I was writing nuggets. You saw me, right? I was writing. But it's so interesting that you said that. My dad actually passed away when I was 15. Your dad passed away 12, mine 15. And I actually saw the dramatic difference in our lifestyle immediately, right? My dad was a doctor, and he owned his own practice. He actually delivered me because he was an OBGYN, right? My mom was an entrepreneur. She owned her own private business, but she had kind of shut that down because my dad had gotten sick with cancer. And so the last couple years of his life, she was spent taking care of him pretty much full time. And they were living off their savings, their retirement, stuff like that. And then when he passed away, before he passed away, he tried to sell his practice, and all of his friends knew that he was sick, and they basically vultured his practice and basically took it for pennies on the dollar and not what it was actually worth, right? And so I kind of saw that, what you're talking about, that traditional dog-eat-dog, world, and when I was younger. And then it's so interesting that you also mentioned that put in your mind what would happen to me or what would happen to my family if something happened to me? And those exact words was the reason why I started looking up and learning how to trade Forex. Because right before I got involved with this particular company that we're involved with, I was diagnosed with having some kind of autoimmune disorder, right? And at that time, I was making good money on the lecture circuit. I could speak, I could do whatever. But I realized at that point in time, bro, that if something happened to me, my wife at the time and my children couldn't duplicate what I did. They couldn't replicate it. So if I lost my ability to perform my job or my task, my family was in danger. And so I wanted them to have not just a business, but a skill. And that's what brought me. So it's interesting. I wanted to bring that up because it seems like we almost have joint parallels. You're up there.
Absolutely.
In Vancouver, here I am down here. And, one of the things that I wanted to touch on as you go back into network marketing, because you really nailed a bunch of things, a bunch of topics, right? Is a couple things. Number one, it's obvious that you were a successful guy, 100 grand a year at 19. You were obviously doing well financially. One of the things I think people have a problem with, and maybe you could address this, is do you find it easier, because I do, that when you're out there and you're looking to build something or share an opportunity with something, most people have that chicken list. You know what I'm talking about? The people that they won't approach because they feel like those people are successful. Those people don't need extra income. Those people don't need those things. What I found in my career is that your business grows faster and it's so much less painful to actually speak to the successful person than it is to the person who's desperate need of success. Do you find that that's the same thing in Canada? It could be different, right? You're in Canada, I'm here. Is it?
Absolutely, yo, Audrey, you're hilarious, man. Because you made a good point, man. Look at even your story. You're out there in the South, okay, in the States, country, as far as what's going on, and in America, and I'm over here, and we're experiencing the same thing. And you hit it on the hammer, bro. Here's the truth, okay? Here's what people need to know: the person going to give you the best advice in entrepreneurship are the people making money. And so when you go to talk, if you had a choice to talk to two people, one who's already making a lot more money, a lot more that you're common folk with, you hang out with, maybe as a mutual, or makes the amount of money you make or less, you're going to see that the value is presented at a higher, better perspective in the person that's already that already is achieving success. It's a fear, it's a self-image fear that we have about ourselves that is thinking, oh my God, what if they make fun of my business, or what if it is of my concept, or whatever that it is. Truly, here's what I'll tell you guys. If you believe in what you do, and that's why belief is so important to work on for yourself, the successful person will actually waste your time less, get more to the point, and say, hey, this is what you got to do. This is what I would do. Or they'll say, you know what? This is so good. I'll do it with you. And 9 times out of 10, they will do it with you. It's actually the opposite. When you talk to people that are not successful, 9 times out of 10, they're going to say no, because they don't even know how to evaluate a company or opportunity or the experience of anything. They haven't been trained mentally. They haven't been trained with experience. I cannot go to my sister who's a microbiologist and tell her to take a look at a business concept and give me the same expertise that she will have versus being an educated woman. As a multiple degree and very successful woman at what she does, she has no experience on how to generate a dollar. Make sense? Mm-hmm. So if that person doesn't come from a entrepreneurship background, or has been in business, or has either failed or succeeded in business, they will not understand the same thing. So commonly, that's where I think a lot of people get discouraged, is they have a concept, they get started, and the first people they go talk to are people that are not qualified to give them opinions on the business. So there is where a lot of people can lack success, because they don't realize that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, going out there and, teaching and showing people and spreading the word about what it is that you're going to do, marketing yourself more than anything else. But it's the fact that it's who are you talking to, and when you realize that, it's a different conversation. I recommend this, you guys. Today, if you're listening to this call and you're in a business you believe in your business, no matter who you talk to, hold your head up high. Because if you just hold your head up high, here's what's going to happen. You're going to talk with a different swagger, a different confidence. Make sense? You
Yeah.
may not be a millionaire. You might be in your worst financial situation in your life. But if you believe in the help, the support, the program, the concept, the business, the opportunity that you have, that you feel that can impact other people, you're going to work out of your heart and not out of your paycheck, or or try to impress people. The biggest thing in life today that people need to realize is they need to stop trying to impress people. They need to stop trying to get acceptance from people. People accept people more today that are themselves. People that are respect people more, that stand up for their beliefs, and they stand up for people that really are genuine or humble, no ego, no gratitude. I can go to people and show my best friend a concept. I can show my mom and dad a concept. They can say no to me, but I'm not going to let that stop me from doing what I'm doing. I can love and respect them, but I have to also look at them and realize they are not qualified as an entrepreneur or a business owner to give me the advice that I'm seeking, unless they have what I have or do already what I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. One
Different
time,
story of someone.
I remember when that hit home with me. One time, I was at a meeting, and there was, I was at, this wasn't, it was more of a business briefing. It was a smaller circle, kind of and there was one person in the room that was clearly the most successful person there. And I remember the presenter that day asked a question, and the question they asked was simply, if uh, if I offered you guys $10 million right now to jump out of a plane, who would take it? And of course, all of us were like, yeah, oh, without a parachute, you can't. Who's taking it? Jumping out. And I'll never forget, because it blew my mind, and it totally was a paradigm shift. You want to talk about paradigm shift? Is that
Yeah,
all of us who were broke was like, hell no, we're not jumping out of the plane. And the only person who had money in the entire room raised his hand and said, how high is the plane?
that's right.
Right?
That's right.
The only person, he said, how high is the plane? Am I jumping onto a slide? Like, in other words, he was understood that he needed to evaluate the opportunity more and ask the right questions in order before he could make a decision. And that was
That's
like
it.
a mind shift for me, right? Because most of us, we just hear something and we're just like, no, or yes, or even saying yes sometimes is a bad valuation, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so it was just like, get the information, and once you have the information, then you can make an informed decision. So
100%. 100%, bro. 100%. So going back into my story, like what that really did for me, guys, is it gave me a lot of confidence in what it was. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you. Andre, I know you guys know me from the success we've had here at the academy and growing it, but I always tell people this, you guys. I'm not someone that was successful in months in a program. I'm a 9-year failure that had the ability to have success within a short period of time. For 9 years, I've been failing and failing and failing. And when I mean failing, I mean I never achieved my goal,
right.
but I never quit on the chase and the pursuit of my goal. So I got involved in the direct sales industry and learning about affiliate marketing around 2011. As things were getting rocky in business and things were kind of uncertain, I decided to get into it, and I started just getting started to learn it, learning the program, learning the experience. I was the guy that would have a notebook everywhere I went. When there was a speaker, I was recording everything they said. I was writing down how they dressed, what words they would use, what sentences they would say.
Right.
Because I realized, as you kind of learn about entrepreneurship, you guys, it's no secret. The successful people are literally giving you their secrets every time they speak. If you just pay close attention and never quit, you're going to have success. Absolutely, absolutely. And so I would nonstop. I'd have pages and pages. I would just study, and I would constantly go back. And the key element to my success was I was studying, but I was applying. And when I would fail, it didn't discourage me. Failure to me, you guys, was not that I wasn't getting customers, that I wasn't going out there and building the business. What I mean by failure is I never just achieved my goal, my purpose, what I was trying to achieve. Okay.
Right.
My main goals is that I had not achieved financial freedom, retiring my mom, making sure I'm good, the family's good, like all of the goals of what I had written down. So I stayed at it and I just stayed the course. And guys, here's what happened over a period of time. You know, there was hidden blessings within that period of time of just getting started. See, what I would have never realized was in 2011, I was getting started and introduced to the industry. But from 2011 to about 2015, I would have had, just by staying in the industry, I had met people that I would have gone on to partner with in my next company that had gone and allowed me in my second company to have the experience to have a little bit of success. Now I'm getting closer. Now I'm making some more money. Now I'm getting some more freedom. Now I'm getting to travel the world more and speak to more people. The audiences are growing because I'm now getting better and better. You know, and a mentor said this to me, Nafeez, don't ever wish that it was easier, just wish that you were better. And it was true. I took that seriously. So I started getting better and better. And as I started getting better and better, I noticed that there was more and more people that are coming around. The program, the team, the environment, everything was growing. But here's the crazy part. Even then, it wasn't even that was really having success. It was opening the doors to networking. And if you guys, you've heard this probably all the time, your network is your net worth. Well, if you start a business today, your network is not as big as it will be 5 years or 10 years later. So I was pretty much, I didn't realize it at the time. I look back at it now, but I was planting seeds with brand new people that were great entrepreneurs that were going to grow and blossom into massive, 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 you know, abundance that would have come down the road. And so I say that because it wasn't until a good friend of mine told me about the company I decided to get into in the travel industry. That opened a lot of the doors. That's what introduced me to Randy and Wanda and many people that are now best friends of mine. And it's crazy to say this because, again, if I had not gone through that path of meeting those people, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I could look back literally now on the other side of success, where now I'm successful. But when I was on the other side, I would have never known that I was at the right place. I was at the right time. I was consistently showing up. I was consistently networking. I was consistently taking notes. I was consistently grooming and building my relationships. So when the time came to the right time with the right opportunity, it's like divine intuition, man. Everything just lined up so perfectly. And it was a combination of, I had the experience now. I had been ready. I was, you know, I knew exactly who I wanted to partner with from an integrity standpoint, from a friendship standpoint, from a leadership standpoint, from a mentorship standpoint. I had audited my close circle so well that I didn't have anybody around me that I didn't trust or that wasn't motivated or wasn't working towards with me. You know, I still had a lot of friends, but I knew where to spend my time. And then, bam, I get this call in February 2018 about the academy. And, you know, the rest was literally history, you guys. You know, we got started and within 6 months, here I am making, you know, in Canada, multiple six figures with just 6 months. So, you know, I always tell people this: when you see someone have success in an industry and they're having lightning success, it's because they've had a lifetime of experience to progressively put them in that position. They're not people that have quit. They're mentally strong people. They've endured massive amounts of pain, massive amounts of pain. There's no way that they would be that strong if they didn't have that in them. And it just becomes something that becomes very natural at that point. Imagine every single day, you know, we're doing something that's not natural, and then eventually finally clicks and it goes. So, you know, I'm very humble, you know, with the success that we're having, and more importantly, the impact that it's making on so many people. Because, you know, here I am today. Absolutely. Here I am today, Andre, you know, achieving all this success, and I'm still working hard. I'm still passionate. I'm still driven. And I think that, you know, with all of my careers and being able to make money and lots of businesses and success, that was my biggest fear, is reaching levels of success that you finally achieve and then losing that passion all over again, finding yourself lost. Because if you're not fulfilled, if you're not excited, if you're not passionate, if you don't have a purpose driven reason for you to wake up or get on calls or do meetings or do things like this, you're gonna go so far back to where you came that it's just you're gonna go back to zero in finding who you are. And I think that when you find who you are, you find out what you stand for, you figure out what your beliefs, you figure out who's in line with your beliefs that you want to run with, it's game over. And you got to be constantly seeking for that the right people to partner with, the right opportunity, something that you believe in, and honestly that you're willing to just say, hey, this is what I'm gonna do, and I don't plan to ever stop doing it until the last day of me being on this earth. So that's truly what's up, bro.
That's awesome, bro. Well, listen, man. Uh, I got a ton of nuggets. You dropping a ton of information. Listen, one of the things I think I want to give, just give you credit, give my audience credit for, or give you credit and allow them to understand how important it was that they got a chance to hear from you today. So you were in a unique position, right? And I know you don't, you're a humble guy, but you were basically, a lot of times in our industry, people always say, well, if my upline was close to me, or if I could, if I could be around, Randy all the time, or something of that nature. And I found that I always had my most success when I was actually a distance group from my upline, because it forced you to take responsibility for your own business faster, right? But with that, there is always the challenge, right? And not only were you a distance group, but you're like basically the first person really to take this on in your country, in your market, and you've been able to do this. So how did you what was some of the, and maybe we can finish up with this, what was some of the driving factors that allowed you to, be on your own, but you had that experience from previous, but also just the confidence to know that, hey, listen, I can build this market myself. I don't have to wait for someone to come build it for me, because quite frankly, not everybody is able to do that. And that's something that is a feather in your cap, and something that you should be incredibly proud of, and that we, as part of your organization, are proud of you for. You know what I'm saying? So why don't you share with that with us?
Andre, you know what? Such a good question, bro. I think what you just hit on, man, is like, a question that just gave me chills, because, I think that in the back of everybody's mind that is in the game, in the business, they're building it, they're constantly toggling whether they're on the support, on their codependency, and they really feel that success is going to come because someone's going to come give it to them. And I'll be really honest, for me, it was just knowing that Randy was someone there that I could consult with if I didn't know the answer myself. But it was more important that I seek the answer myself, so that I can continue go out there and have everything. Because Randy, like, here's the whole story, you guys, just for those of you guys that know. When I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this, Randy was sweet enough, whether he jumped on a call with me or a webinar with me or whatever he did. This is literally what happened. He said, Nafeez, if we're going to get this thing started, I'm going to fly out there. I'm going to fly to Canada, and I'm going to come stay with you for a day or two, and we're going to get this thing started. So, everybody would say, okay, I'm excited, go ahead. Now, when Randy came there, he was there to just back me up. But I knew that Randy was going to leave in a matter of days. So I wasn't sitting there thinking about, oh, Randy's here, I'm all good, we're going to start working and it's all good. And then when Randy goes, we'll figure out when Randy comes back. That was not my mindset. My mindset was Randy's coming. I need to evaluate what Randy is doing in front of my friends or my audience or the customers or my clients. And I needed to quickly realize that it was upon me to do it. Now, I knew I'm not Randy. I'm not an Air Force pilot. I'm not an IFBB pro. I'm not a entrepreneur that's in you guys, Randy is, you guys, he's very, very, very successful. So minuscule to his is my success, but here's what I knew. I'm me. I just knew that so for me, I got to figure out how I'm going to do it. And I needed to go out there and do it and figure out doing it, because if I don't go out there and do it, one, I'm not going to figure out whether I'm good or bad at it. Two, if I'm bad at it, I don't have anything to reflect on to start figuring out how I'm going to get good at it. So I have to start the process all over again. It's just like anything in life. I got to get uncomfortable before I become comfortable. So when Randy was there, believe it or not, I had Randy come up and do some stuff, but as fast as I could, I was like, hang on, can I present? Can I train? Can I do everything? And then I would ask for people's feedback. I would ask for people's feedback. What was good? What was it good and bad? And I'm gonna be honest, with you guys, it took me about 2 to 3 months of consistently doing it every single day. And every night I would come home and I would like tweak it. Like I would tweak it. I would think about my presentation, I would tweak it. I would think about my training, I would tweak it. I would think about when someone was getting started in the academy, I would tweak that process. And I would constantly just say, what would it be like if I was on the other step, the side of the shoes? Would I want to follow me? Okay. Yes. And I would finally get there. Now that I'm in, how would I feel if I was in on the program? How would I get a lot of the success I'd want if someone told me the steps to do? Well, what were those steps? And I would think about that. And I would constantly think about those things so that when they were in place, it made everything very easy, guys. And I'll be honest, all it was is this, and this is like a little tip for those of you guys that have maybe been in entrepreneurship or maybe haven't tapped into this, is a little secret. Everything's about creating a system. Everything's about creating a system. So don't think about anybody else. Think about you and your system. That's it. You don't got to worry about who your sponsor was or who's on your team or what are they doing or how they're doing it. You just got to find a system that you feel would be the best way for you to attract people of your like mind, get them to come on there and want to work with you as a client or as a business partner. You're going to be going out there and building that business. And then how can you deliver to them something that they can get a lot of value from right away and then fall into a system where it's easy for them to continue on the process with. And so for us, that system was really important, because if there was no system, I knew one thing. It didn't matter if we were great at sales or marketing. We can bring people in for the best company or the best product in the world. If they don't know how to get trained or use or utilize the products or services, they're going to be out as fast as they come. And vice versa, we can't go to people and say, hey, when you get started, here's an encyclopedia, go ahead and get started. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's got to be something that we walk them through. And so I always thought about it as, what could I do to make it easy, simple for them to follow and duplicate? And then number two, once they were into the program, what was going to be our guiding steps in helping them achieve the success they want? And streamlining it as fast as we can, and then giving them a massive amount of customer service. Customer service, you guys, today will hands down build the business up better than any business ever. And you and I go and eat at restaurants that honestly, when people look at, people probably be like, I'll never go there. But because we know that the quality of customer service, the food, the way they make us feel is so good, we are returning customers to that business every single time. And because of that. And so I really, really adapted those things, bro. So my biggest takeaway from that is, you got to realize it's upon you, and you should be looking at, when you're around other people, what is your system going to be when nobody's watching, when nobody's around, when it's just you, and it's your job to go out there and do. What's your schedule going to be like? What's the system that you're going to run? For me, you guys, it was like, how many overviews are we going to do? How many trainings are we going to do? And I remember I just blocked it off of my calendar, and I led Nafeez Khan to those meetings and overviews first before I can ask anybody else to lead anybody else there. And so I was showing up when nobody was in the room. I was doing trainings when nobody was in the room. I was doing it in the most silent thing. And so for anybody on this call that's building a business and you don't got the clients you have yet, you don't got the partners or the people that are on with your mission and your vision yet, here's what I'll tell you. They're coming automatically. It's like a law of attraction with every day that you decide that you're going to go up and just execute on the system and the program that you have in place that you believe in. And so it's big time belief in it. And so that was the key element to my success. Because again, if I saw the system, I saw that people could come win. And I thought this, if one person can win in the system that we have, it's going to go out there and create it to be for hundreds and thousands of people today.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, flip note to it, you guys, here we are a year later, the amount of success that we're achieving, it goes back to all that hard work where nobody was watching, no one was around. I was by myself. I was consulting within whoever we had to consult with. I was really making sure I was, you know, spending that time doing it because it was what was preparing me for the bigger picture, the bigger success, you know.
So you guys got it rocking and rolling now. Team Canada is on the move, and I can't wait to see all of you guys in Houston. If we don't get a chance to see before, I know right now travel, we don't know what's going on, but I'm hopeful that by September we'll all be able to connect and get together, because that's definitely going to be a blast. I'll definitely be there with 150 of my closest friends. And then plugging in with you guys and plugging in with the rest of Legacy Worldwide. It's going to be an awesome time. So listen, bro, I want to thank you for your time. I mean, you've been more than generous with it. I appreciate you. And listen, man, thank you so much for the words of wisdom, folks. Take heed, man. There were so many nuggets. The last portion where he was just talking right there was so powerful because it led me to think back to one of my most important mentors in life. His name was Errol Webley. And Errol said something that was important to me. I kept coming to him week after week. And I would ask him a question. I'd ask him a question. And he was kind and a gentle soul. And finally, one day he said to me, bro, why are you coming to me with a different question when you still haven't completed the last bit of advice that I gave you? Right? And that was another wake up point. It was like, why? The way you get to success is by executing the plan, right? And so if someone who's already gone before you has a plan, has a system like you guys have there, does it make sense to not execute on that or to come back and ask something else? And once I started doing that, my respect with my mentor grew, my access to my mentor grew, and my relationship with my mentor grew because I knew that he was actually really helping me get to where I wanted to get to in life. So, bro, I really appreciate you taking the time to share with us, and it's been absolutely amazing.
Andre, I appreciate you, man. I just want to say this, you guys. Getting a chance to meet Andre, you don't have an idea. If you guys are not currently within the program or what we do today, what we work on, I'm going to tell you this much. Andre is somebody that's a genuine soul. He does not care about anything other than making sure that you're happy in life, you're successful in life. Sometimes you need someone to talk to, someone you need a friend, someone you need someone in a corner. And being around someone like Andre, you guys have no idea. Andre's famous in Canada. Like everybody in Canada knows who Andre English is because of what he does behind the scenes as a selfishless leader. So, bro, I can't just say how much we appreciate you. You know, how much success you've had from the program is truly just a testament of your heart and you giving back. And I think that that's something that God just continues to bless you with. And we're so excited for this year, man, because we know you're just going faster and bigger. And, man, the impact you're making is just unstoppable. So thank you so much. I'm so honored to be on this call. And thank you, man, so much again for having this and letting me share with you.
Well, listen, man, mark this down. I'm going to be in the chairman seats with you in Houston, bro. Let's get it done.
All right, let's go. Let's go. I appreciate it, brother.
All right, bro. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Peace, Andre. Appreciate it, brother. All right, take care, guys.